Hi, everybody. It's Jenny J, 1911. So I don't know how many of you read the description for tonight's episode. I'm actually shaking. I'm actually very nervous to do this episode because it's very different than any episodes we've done before. It's going to be a little raw and probably a little emotional at times. So just bear with me while I get all of this out. If any of you clicked on the link that I shared with you, I'm going to share it again here. I'm going to put this up on the screen too. So tonight's episode is in memory of my stepson, Cole Johnson. Cole just died this last Thursday. Cole was my husband's oldest son. He was 29 and he was living in Illinois. Cole was diagnosed at the age of 5 with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And the prognosis for that is never good. And I asked my husband's permission to do this episode tonight, just because it is very personal and the internet's a very wide, very wide web, a very wide network. So, how much of your personal life do you put out there? The reason I wanted to do this is because I feel like it's important that people understand a little bit about muscular dystrophy and specifically Duchenne muscular dystrophy, just because that is what has affected my family. And I feel like not only did I want to spread awareness about that, but I also wanted to be able to try to fundraise a little bit for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. So if you see the link that I have posted there on the screen, that is for my own personal donor drive that I have created for Cole's memorial. And so if you feel at all compelled to do so and are able to do so, if you can donate to that, I would really appreciate it. I know that Jim would really appreciate it, and all of Cole's family would appreciate it, and I think Cole would appreciate it. So, in case you don't know, muscular dystrophy is basically it's a condition that affects your muscles and it continually gets worse. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Cole's story. And because, Cole was a living, breathing human being. And having my own 2 daughters, I can't even imagine losing a child and how that affects anybody. And I know it happens. I know it happens every day, but I have been here firsthand, and we knew that this was going to be happening. But I don't think anything ever really prepares you for that to happen, even though you have, we had advance warning of this. So I will tell you a little bit about Cole. As you know, Jim and I just got married in January. And so this portion of the family is still very new to me. And there's a big part of me that feels like I'm not entitled to grieve for him either. But mostly I want to be there for my husband and my other stepson, um, who was very, very close to Cole, they were literally best friends. There was, a little bit of an age difference. My younger stepson is 17. Cole was 29. So there was 12 years age difference, but that didn't change their relationship at all. And as Cole got older and he was in a motorized wheelchair, there are lots of stories of the two of them. My other stepson would ride around on the back of Cole's wheelchair through town. And they would just, tear the town up, having fun. And that's exactly what two brothers should be able to do. So Cole, I've seen a lot of pictures of him from the time he was born up until, just a week ago. And Cole was born just like any other baby boy. And he was the light of his parents' eyes. He, did all the things that boys love to do, especially he loved shooting guns. He loved being in his great grandpa's shop reloading. My husband, started out the same way, shooting guns as a tiny tyke and reloading with his grandpa. And when Cole came along, it was the same situation for him. So, nobody expected there to be any problems. Everything seemed great. And when Cole was 4, his parents noticed that, he moved a little bit differently. He ran differently than other people, than other kids his age. And they were concerned. So they took him to the doctor, and the doctor pretty immediately diagnosed that he had muscular dystrophy. And, the doctor didn't go into a lot of details, possibly just assuming, well, they've got time. They're going to be riding this wave, whether they want to or not. So he didn't give a lot of information. But of course, my husband, right away started researching. And of course, the prognosis was not good. This is a disease that generally affects boys. And they know that if you are diagnosed with this, you're not going to live, you won't live much past your early 20s usually. But Cole was a fighter, and he was one of the strongest, most courageous guys I've ever met in my life. So in April, he was actually admitted to the hospital just this last April, and we received a phone call saying that he was probably going to have about 5 days to live. Now do the math. That was in April. He just passed away Thursday. So, he kept saying he didn't want to lose this battle, and he was determined to beat this. He was determined to live his best life possible. And so back to when he was diagnosed with this, of course, being a 5-year-old, almost 5, it was July 3rd before his 5th birthday. And he was too young to understand what was going on. But as he got older and things got more difficult and more painful, he started to understand, unfortunately, through his own personal experience. And, he got to the age where, well, first of all, he had to they put him in like leg braces, because part of the deal with the muscles is they don't behave normally, and they're basically degenerating. And so when this happened, it would make Cole's feet bend down, like they would point down. So they put him in braces to try to combat that at first. And eventually, he ended up having to have some tendons cut in his legs to ease that. And then also, he had to have his spine fused because it got to the point where he wouldn't be able to sit up otherwise. So, and these were all things that Cole was, pretty much given the opportunity to say how he wanted to be treated. And so these were all things that he said, I am deciding for myself. I want to go ahead with this. I want to have this done. That is, our first clue into what kind of person Cole was. He was take charge. And I don't think that he really ever spent time feeling sorry for himself. I saw him post things on Facebook, like, he'd say, I don't understand why people feel sorry for themselves. Like, just pick yourself up and try to move on the best you can. And that was kind of just the way he was. That was the person he was. And I think that speaks volumes to how he was raised. He had great parents and great grandparents, a wonderful family network that loved on him like crazy. And, of course, he would feel strong and willing to keep fighting because he knew that he had people that loved him that he wanted to fight for. So by the age of 12, or around the age of 12, he did go into a wheelchair, and that still didn't stop him from doing all the things that he wanted to do. He was very passionate about football, and he was the manager for his junior high and his high school football teams. He always wanted to stay active and be able to participate with those things. He was in Boy Scouts. He was in all the Pinewood Derbies and had the greatest cars. And he ended up, after he graduated from high school, he ended up going to college. He got his associate's degree, then he got his bachelor's degree, and then he went on to get his master's degree. He just always wanted to improve upon his original self as much as he could. So I think that, even though he knew he had an understanding of what his life eventually would become, he didn't let that stop him from doing all of these things. So he grew up and did things he always wanted, he was an entrepreneur, and he always wanted to be able to create business for himself. And he actually started a design company. He did a lot of 3D design and created all of these cool 3D objects. In fact, we have some gun stands that he made for us off his 3D printer, like little display stands that you can rest the pistol barrel on or muzzle on. And he also he made guns. We're firearms instructors, and so he made some dummy guns for us so that we can use those in our classes. Made those all out of his 3D materials, and just was always doing something. He had a YouTube channel, and so he was just very, very busy all the time. He loved cars, and he loved doing all of these things that you would think that a kid like that or a young man like that just would lose their spark for. as they were going through this transition in their life, but he never did. He never lost his interest or his zeal for it. And so we have gone and visited him as much as we possibly could. Um, we've spent many Sundays with him, and that's kind of what we've been doing on our Sundays, going and spending the day with him. He was living a couple of hours away from us, still in the childhood home that his dad built when he was a little boy. And so that's where he got to spend all of his days. And that's actually where he passed away as well. So that was his home, and that's where he was comfortable. And so, being that he's a take charge young man all the time up through the very end, and I think he understood, because at one point he told his mom, he said, I'm going to be forever 29. And so this coming Sunday is actually his 30th birthday. And we suspect that he knew that he was not going to get there in his earthly life, but he took charge, like Cole always has, took charge and planned at first what he was calling his his life celebration, his celebration of life. And then he decided, you know what, it's going to be my birthday party. And when Cole was growing up, they had big weenie roasts. Since he has an October birthday, they had big weenie roasts for him every year. Big bonfires, and just, burn lots of wood and make the fire as big as you can. And so that's what he planned. So on Sunday, that's what we'll be doing for his celebration of life / birthday party. We're going to be, sharing memories and just talking about what a wonderful young man he is, and celebrating him and all of the things that he stood for. So he planned all of that himself, and right down to the music that he once played. And none of us are privy to that information. He actually spent time with the directors of the funeral home in his hometown, and they have all of this planned. So they are helping to execute this plan that he had on Sunday. And so we've all been told there are some surprises. So it's kind of amazing to know that even with Cole not here experiencing his earthly life anymore, he's still going to be reaching out and giving everybody a taste of Cole. So he is an incredible young man. We had a lot of good laughs together, and he loved reminiscing. We knew the last two Sundays that we've gone and spent time with him, there was a change in him, and we knew that we were approaching what was going to be inevitable. And so we just, took every moment that we could to be with him. And he loved teasing his little brother. Even just the last Sunday that we were there, just 4 days before he passed away, he was teasing him about his clothes and his hair, and just giving him all of the lasting memories that a big brother wants to give their little brother. So seeing their relationship has been really special. And seeing his relationship with his dad has been incredible. And so I'm doing this fundraiser for for the family, just because I I want them to all know that even if Cole is not here, there are good things coming um, out of his being here, out of his having been here with us. So, um, it's it's very hard to see your spouse go through something like this. Like I said at the top of the show, I can't imagine. I can't imagine losing your child, and a child that you have held from the time they were born up until the very end. And whether that's for just a few moments or a few years or 29 years, it's never going to be easy to lose your child, because they're supposed to outlive you, right? And that's kind of the resounding thing that I hear people say a lot when they're going through grieving and losing a child. And that, I think that grief never goes away. I think that you learn how to function with that grief being inside you for the rest of your life. And so I've done a lot of praying, just for peace for everybody in my family. And just that they all continue to have a sense of purpose in their own lives, and that they do things, continue to live in a way that they know Cole would be proud of. So I'm going to take a drink here. And yes, this is water in the Jenny J cup. I know you always all tease me. It's ice water. So yeah, so if anybody feels beholden or I guess compelled to donate to this, this video tonight is not monetized at all. I didn't want anybody to have a different focus or feel like there was, an ulterior motive to this, to me reaching out to all of you. My motive is simply to spread awareness, about Duchenne muscular dystrophy, about grieving through losing a child or even through losing a loved one. And just to let you guys know that, all that glitters is not gold. So Jenny J has a real life too. And I know that usually you guys only see the fun, happy side that we show on camera, but this is something else that's been going on in our life too. And I wanted you all to be a part of that. We have felt, and my husband feels the same way, you guys have all become like a family to us, and you have supported us and supported me, supported this channel just so willingly and unquestioningly from the beginning. And you're all amazing. I love the community. I love the network that you guys have all allowed me to create, that you guys have all created yourselves as well. We get on here, and I've told you before, I love watching the side chats, and just seeing how you guys have all come together too. So, but tonight's episode obviously is going to be a little shorter. We're not doing an hour. We're not going to do 2 hours. But this just kind of gives you guys a little bit of an idea. We have slowed down our videos in the last, week or so, because we have had other things going on, obviously. we did make it out to the range on Saturday. And I know, of course, Cole doesn't want us to stop doing what we're doing, especially because we're doing something, shooting guns, that he loved doing too. And even when he couldn't hold a gun up to shoot it anymore, my husband outfitted a stand for him to be able to prop it up on and to be able to continue to shoot. So, this has been something that was very important in his life and that he enjoyed doing too. So I know he wouldn't want us to stop doing what we're doing. So like I said, we did make it out to Gateway on Saturday. We shot the just short little video about the EAAs. And if you haven't seen that, of course, you'll have to go check it out. It wasn't as elaborate of a video as we've been putting out, just because, like I said, we've had a few other things going on. So we are going to be, getting back in the swing of things. We still have lots of ideas, lots of things we're going to be doing. But I know you all understand that we're going to be going at our own pace here for a little bit. And so any support that you guys give us, commenting, liking videos, all of that, help keep us rolling. We really appreciate that. And if you can donate to this link that I have up here on my screen, that would be awesome. If you can say a prayer for my family, that would be awesome. And, if you feel like this is a link that you want to share with somebody else that might want to donate to it too, that would be really cool. I would love to be able to show his family on Sunday when we get together for his celebration of life that, there are people out there that love him, haven't even met him, but love him and are supporting him, supporting us, supporting the family, and, supporting the Muscular Dystrophy Association, which of course is going to be something that will always be near to our hearts for obvious reasons. So anyway, I hope that you are all well and that you are all having a really great week. And we will be back next Tuesday with a live, I promise. I am going to try to have a guest on with me. So make sure you save some time at our usual time, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So until then, just keep liking and subscribing and sharing and doing all the things that you wonderful J Crew members do. And I hope you have a great night, sweet dreams, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon.